Welcome to the Azztrro interview. I am joined with none other than Azztrro. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really glad you could make it today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Oh, by the way, you could pronounce it Azztrro, as Azztrro, so
Azztrro? Okay, so
Azztrro.
Azztrro. Yeah. It's the
I'm trying
little
to
play on
rebrand
words.
myself.
Yeah. But the reason why I wanted to do this interview is because I feel like there's a lot of things that are just, happening around OnlyFans, and I'm only really hearing one side of the story, so I wanted to, get a second opinion, listen to the other side when it comes to, like, someone who's for OnlyFans and stuff like that.
Sure. I might not be the best person. I mean, I have a viewpoint and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm not super in depth in the OnlyFans online sex work type thing. But
Yeah.
I'm a very passive user of it. So I have my voice on it, but I couldn't tell you a lot about the culture or the controversies and stuff in depth. But yeah. Whatever you got, I can probably answer.
Yeah, and plus the questions that I have, I think, are pretty watered down. They're not very, introspective, like, you don't have to be, like, a big brain to, like, answer it, because I'm not a big brain, all right? Like, I'm a pretty,
Yeah, me neither.
smooth
Me
brain
neither.
kind of person.
You picked the right interviewee.
Well, but first, let's start with some questions about you. So, what
Yeah.
made you want to become an OnlyFans model?
I was kind of debating it for a while. So I do what I do on the internet. Just kind of at first it was just like a hobby.
Yeah.
It was like a creative outlet and stuff. But after a while, I saw more of my mutuals getting on OnlyFans and other related platforms, and I'm like, well, this will kind of make it a job, and it won't be fun anymore. But I needed money. I was in college at the time, and I was like, fuck it. I can't cuss, can I? Sorry.
No, you can. Yeah. No, you
Okay,
absolutely can.
All right, you can edit that out. But anyways, yeah, I started, and I'm like, oh, I'm making actually pretty good money. So a lot of that went to rent, and then the rest of the money I was making from my actual internship went to just my bank account. And yeah, it really helped me out. And after a while, it did become a job, but I don't load, or it's not like a huge chore or anything. But yeah, I just to put it short, I wasn't a sex worker at first. I was just kind of it's going to sound pretentious, but sort of an artist or a creator.
Yeah.
A hobbyist.
Someone who's just doing it for fun.
Yeah. Someone was doing it for fun, and then I'm like, well, I could be doing this for not free this time. So yeah, I make decent money. I'm really surprised at my success, because I didn't think it'd become like this. Even though I'm top 7%, which is not extremely impressive, I don't think, but I make enough money to it completely pays off my rent, that's for sure. And then the rest of the money I make from my actual job is goes to my hobbies.
See, that was also a question as well on my list here. Is I was like, how much are you making? I'm not sure if you're able to disclose that, but it seems like you are making a decent amount of money to the point where you're able to pay off rent. So that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. So
yeah, I mean, I don't mind disclosing. It varies widely though, because people are unsubbing and subbing.
Yeah.
I had a lot of subs a couple months ago because I did a collab with a really, really popular person. So I got about 2,500 from that.
Oh wow.
And yeah, the month after that was a little less, and then this month it's going to be maybe 1,500 or so.
That's pretty good. I mean, you're definitely making more than me, because I think a month I'm making less than $50 on YouTube, and that's being generous.
Yeah. Well, hey, do make more videos, interview more people, and you'll probably definitely get more. You're a good interviewer.
I appreciate that. There's some things I still have to overcome, but one day, I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm a badass interviewer, but I still gotta work some things out. But someday.
Yeah.
So, like, how long have you been doing OnlyFans for?
Let's see. It's hard to remember. I think I started my senior year of college. So this was June 2019. Yeah.
So, approximately like 3 years.
Oh my God, is it 3 years? Yeah, about a little less than 3 years, but yeah.
3 years, not bad, not bad. I would have imagined you'd done it a little longer, but 3 years is ain't half bad. Plus, you know, in that short period of time with you making all that money, that's kind of impressive, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's partially luck because I feel like a lot of my content is, I feel like I can do a lot better. And I see a lot of people who make way, way, way better stuff than I do, and yet they have like so few followers and acknowledgement. I'm like, what? I guess I'm lucky, but because of I've been in it long enough to have like notoriety. It's like I don't know. It's like fucking Starbucks, you know. Like Starbucks is not everybody's favorite, but it's what everybody knows, you know.
Yeah.
Or it's just like there. There's better options out there, but people just go to Starbucks because like I'm familiar with this thing. I've heard of this thing, so I'll go to there instead. Maybe that's kind of an arrogant way to say it, I guess, but. Yeah, I don't know. I think it boils down to like time, how long I've been around, because I've been posting stuff since I was like 18.
Yeah.
And I'm almost 26 now.
Oh, so since 18 you were posting content on OnlyFans or just like on the internet in general?
On the internet, yeah. Like I started on 4chan.
Oh, really? 4chan?
Yeah.
So like they allow content like that on 4chan?
Oh yeah, anything goes.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, 4chan. 4chan's too spooky for me, honestly. You know, I feel like if you say one thing wrong, someone's gonna send you a pipe bomb for no goddamn reason.
It's like, that's like 4chan from long ago. It's like, that's 4chan from like when I was in high school. Now it's just a bunch of 15-year-old edgelords calling each other the F slur. And like, there's nothing dangerous or serious about that site. It's just a bunch of toxic 16-year-olds just talking smack. It's just not worth going to.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm in a shitty high school after school detention class, you know.
True. Yeah, I feel like a lot of internet spaces are like that, where it's not. It's kind of like like the high school thing where you just like, well, like did we move on? Like, are we able to grow up or something? But you know,
right.
It do be like that sometimes. But
I mean, like,
yeah.
Hey, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, like, as you grow older, like a lot of people have never left high school. So like, once you hit like 22, 23, most people do not evolve after that. And I'm serious.
True. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, I've grown up. No, I've been told multiple times, when I'm 21 right now, like, hey, you need to grow up, you know. So I can't really, I can't stand up on my high horse and be like, oh, you know, I'm grown up. But you know, there's some people that are just, how do I put this, less evolved than me, if that's a weird way of saying it, but you know.
I mean, do you watch George Carlin? Can't speak.
No, I have not.
Like he's one of the like most famous comedians ever, stand-up comedians, and one of his bits was, think of the dumbest person that you know personally. Now realize that like half of the country, half of the population is dumber than that person. It's really pessimistic, but like it's kind of true, actually.
You know what? Yeah, he is absolutely right with that. Not gonna, like, you see some people just act, and it's like, come on, like, what are you doing? Like, it's kind of frustrating to see that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
A little frustrating. But when it comes to like options, right? Like, besides 4chan, like, was there other options that was dedicated to, you know, NSFW content, like OnlyFans, when you first started?
Tumblr, so all I knew was like OnlyFans back then didn't exist. I don't know when OnlyFans came about. It was probably only within the last 5 years, though. 5 years ago, I was your age. Yeah, for me, it was just Tumblr and 4chan. I slid into Tumblr slowly from 4chan, and from Tumblr, I did do some like commissions and stuff, and I made a little bit of money, like maybe $100 a month or something. But it wasn't like a sex work type space. It was just like the hobbyist space. Yeah.
And during the phase of Tumblr when it was trying to like purge itself of all of the the smut, like were you part of that? Like what did you think about that?
Yeah, I was part of the exodus onto Twitter. I didn't really mind it because like I had Twitter before, like a personal Twitter for keeping in contact with people in high school. And I like Twitter as a platform. I always did. So I wasn't too bummed out about it, but I didn't know the NSFW part of Twitter, so I wasn't sure how that was going to go and how like NSFW content propagates on Twitter. So I wasn't too concerned with like followers and views and stuff. But I'm like, okay, like I'm dipping my toes into waters that I sort of know, but I don't know the not suitable for work, like the suitable for work stuff I knew, but like the not suitable for work culture, I had no clue what I was getting into. But it turned out to be way more successful than my Tumblr, and I like Twitter more, and I think most people would agree that it goes a lot faster. There's more people coming through your account, seeing your content propagates way faster and more widespread, whereas Tumblr it's more slow. But then again, Tumblr has a more insular community. I feel like it's easier to make close friends on Tumblr than it is on Twitter. But then again, like I've met so many cool people on Twitter. Like, so yeah, they both have their benefits and stuff. But I do prefer Twitter over Tumblr, and yeah, I was a part of the exodus that I guess succeeded on Twitter rather than Tumblr.
And do you think Twitter could possibly do another, Tumblr moment where it tries to purge itself of, of smut as well?
Yeah, I see that happening. It's just the corporatization of the internet is, as you know, like it's gotten worse and worse and more pervasive. Advertisers, they have a stronghold on what can go on platforms, and Twitter is pretty much the only stronghold left of. You were old enough to remember like when the internet was like the Wild West, right? Anything went.
Yes.
You remember that? Yeah, I think Twitter is just like one of the only big platforms that has a reminiscence of that culture, that type of leniency when it comes to content. But I wouldn't be surprised within the next like year, Jack Dorsey would cut us all off. Oh yeah, like I don't know where else we would go. I guess you can make a small platform that's like Twitter for sex workers and like artists and stuff like that. But they're not going to get as much attention, and it's not going to be like most people aren't going to be like, oh no, my favorite porn artist or actress is not on Twitter anymore. I gotta make a new account or new accounts to all these new NSFW sites, and like I gotta keep track of all these sites and stuff. Like on Twitter, like it's easy to keep track of things because you have porn stuff, you have NSFW stuff, and you have like regular stuff too. So it's all in one.
Yeah.
That's what I like. It's like it's all in one. Rather, if we all go to a specific NSFW site that's separate from everything else, like of your interest, then I think it's a little bit of hassle that a lot of people would not want to do. So it does affect. I mean, it won't really affect me in my life because like I make a pretty good salary for my real job. So like I could live without the OnlyFans money, but the rest of my mutuals and a lot of these people who only do sex work and stuff for that's their career.
Yeah.
That is so not fair for them, and I want to fight with them to, say to Jack Dorsey, like, hey, like, screw you. You are literally going to make people homeless. People are going to starve because of it. And yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if within the next year, Tumblr will, or Twitter will pull like a Tumblr moment.
Yeah.
I don't use Tumblr anymore, but I had a friend at the gym tell me the other day that Tumblr has porn now, or there's like loopholes now, so there's plenty of smut on there now.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's too late for a lot of us. We're not going to go back. But yeah, I'm sure there are going to be loopholes, but it's just like how easy are those loopholes, or like. There's just gonna be another barrier to like just thrive. I don't know. Those are my concerns.
Yeah, it's very the future's very uncertain. You just gotta be ready to fight when the time is when the time is now. So yeah, I definitely understand. Like especially like in YouTube, commentary is becoming less and less more of an accepted thing. It seems like so. People are already speculating within like 4 or 5 years, YouTube is just, just like straight up not allow any commentary to strive or just like be on the platform. Because like, some of us, the people in the community that I am, they're very critical about others as well. And I think that's good because sometimes you got to keep people, like in check in some ways, like you can go too far with that, but it's still good to have like a check and balance kind of thing, but YouTube just sees that overall it's just something that they don't want, which is unfortunate. So I completely understand, and when that day comes, I will have to fight as well with my fellow comrades.
I'm not a YouTuber, and I'm not super into like the commentary world.
Yeah,
but it seems very popular. I don't see what is the danger that you, like content creators and commentators like you, are facing. It seems like a lot. I mean, like I watch, I don't know, commentators, essayists. They seem to be thriving. They get millions of views and they're popular. And I don't see why YouTube wouldn't want that. Even though I don't know if they're or I don't know if they get ad revenue though. So.
Yeah.
I don't understand why YouTube would want to get rid of that.
It's kind of like a subgroup of commentary. It's drama commentary. So when something goes down with a YouTuber, we talk about it. So YouTube looks at that and is like, we don't really want that because it can be seen as harassment. And in some cases, it depends on the content creator. So in some cases, it can be harassment. Other times, it's just straight up criticism, and then someone just freaks out. And then, the cycle continues. And also you have the, you have the people, the fans, who take it a step too far. Like someone gives criticism and that, that gives them the right to like, let's go harass this person. So it's a very dangerous thing. It's a pretty dangerous thing on YouTube. Plus, there really is nowhere else to go when it comes to YouTube. Like there's been different platforms that have tried to, do the thing that's YouTube, but no, they've all fallen, into irrelevancy or just, bankruptcy or whatever. So it's just a matter of time until, you start seeing people disappear because YouTube just kicks them out.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. I see that. That is pretty clear. Well, I mean, like if it does fall and you get booted, I mean, you can always do toy unboxings and stuff like that,
Ironically, I would actually do that. Like I had a second channel dedicated to that because I little action figures and shit like that. Like that's my jam. Okay, like they're too expensive, but hey, it still makes for like good content. I watch that shit all the time. So when that day comes, it's either that or I do movie reviews or just movie commentary. So. It's not the end of the world, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's good to be a jack of all trades and have multiple interests.
Yeah, you definitely have to be able to adapt on YouTube. Do you find yourself having to adapt on OnlyFans, or is it just like straight up cut and easy? Just do this and you'll be fine.
I mean, like, I wish how do I say that? I feel like at first when I started OnlyFans, I was trying to be like, it's like here are all these different things that I'm posting. There isn't like a consistency. Like, I'm trying new things. I'm different angles and stuff and lighting and stuff. And I tried really hard to be different. But at the end of the day, I'm fine with it. It's what customers or viewers or subs or whoever you want to call them.
Yeah.
They want like specific repetitive content that, like I said, it's fine, but I don't creatively flourish. And that's just for me. I'm sure people like variety and an artist's content, but for me, it's just been like a similar things. It's just similar poses, similar content that is not risky and it's safe, because that's what people expect. And I mean, they know me for certain features. And that's what they want. They are happily subbing for just the same things, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm being very vague and just trying to skirt around, but
no, but yeah, I understand, absolutely.
I forgot what the question was. too.
It's just, are you able to, like, do you think you have to adapt with OnlyFans, or?
No, the answer is no, because like for foreseeable future, like, I mean, like, I guess I have to, I mean, there's costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, I don't feel like I have to adapt. It's just kind of smooth sailing. And that's why I feel like I'm more of a passive creator, because like I'm not on OnlyFans every day. I'm not making content every day. I make content maybe once a week, and I just like slowly leak it out throughout the week.
Yeah.
Just to stay active. And yeah, like, I honestly do not have a strategy or a plan. If it fails, it fails, whatever. And yeah, like, I just post regularly, and if my subs go down, like way down, it means maybe I need to do a promotion, or I need to shake things up a bit. Maybe actually do take a risk or something, or advertise better on Twitter. But I don't really have to take many risks, which is not what I expected at first.
Yeah. So you think you could do like one pose for like an entire month, just that same pose, and you would still find success?
I mean, like, in a set, if I put that in a set, yes, that's fine. But if it's just like 6 pictures for an entire week of just the same pose, then yeah, that's a problem. You can't do that. But if you make a set with like the same 4 poses, and you just post similar sets with those same 4 poses all month, then yes, I could probably get away with that.
Yeah. Oh, so like when you say like you can't do that, do you think you will get like criticized, or do you think that's just not what you want to do?
I mean, it's not what I want to do, and plus people will get bored, you know.
Yeah, that's understandable. That's understandable, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, like, I do it mostly for the money now. I mean, there's still like a little hobbyist approach to it still, but it's gotten to the point where it is a job. It is a hustle. I mean, that's why it's called sex work. So being more formulaic and taking a little bit of risk maybe if I have to, but just being formulaic was good enough for me. It's how I get my small bag, my side bag.
Yeah. Now this question might be a little personal, but yeah, if you don't want to answer, just don't let me know. But do any of your immediate family know that you have an OnlyFans?
My parents, no, of course not. I don't really talk to my parents that much, to be honest. But I think I've mentioned it to my brother, he's very accepting, and he pretty much is down with anything in my life. So I think he knows, but nobody in my family other than has any clue what I do.
I would imagine that if they found out, they would not be happy.
Yeah, they wouldn't be happy, but then again, I don't live with them, or I don't
Yeah.
talk to them much, so like it doesn't bother me that much.
True. Yeah, like if you were still living with them, I could see that as a problem. But since you don't, and you barely talk to them, it's like at that point, who cares? You know, who cares what they think?
Right, exactly.
But about you, right? Like, did you have any regrets about uploading content onto OnlyFans like, at any point?
No, I don't. I don't know if I should. I don't see a reason why I should regret or feel bad. To me, the world is a big enough place to not be recognized or anything. I do show my face in photos only, and not videos. But
Yeah.
no, there has been one person that recognized me, not from OnlyFans, but though from Twitter, and they were also a sex worker. So that was the best outcome that could have happened. But yeah, like I don't really fear being found out by my employer or anything, because here's the thing that I don't get about like people getting in trouble for only having an OnlyFans and they get fired or get punished at their actual job for it, because that requires somebody in HR or somebody that you work with admitting to watching gay twink femboy porn on OnlyFans to their HR manager, and I don't see that really happening. Most of the time, like if that were to happen, that wouldn't happen to me because I work with a bunch of straight boomer dads.
Yeah.
They're not gonna say anything probably. Like they're just gonna keep it to themselves. So, why would I regret? What is there to regret?
I think it just depends on the person, you know. Maybe at one point someone, say Timmy, you know, started uploading content, and then, you know, he had like an epiphany or something like that, and he'd be like, oh, you know, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So it depends on the person.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. And people have their different reasons for posting, and if it's like being self-conscious about your body and trying to compensate by posting yourself on the internet, and you feel different about your body in the long run, then yeah, I can understand that. Using sex work or posting not suitable for work content of yourself, of your body online as a coping mechanism, then yes, I would definitely understand that.
But for you don't have any regret.
No, not for me.
Not for you. Would you recommend anyone to become a sex worker?
No, it's not for everybody. I feel like, at least in my circle and online and in real life, more so in real life, you gotta be neurodivergent. Is that the term?
That's like the first time I've heard that fucking term.
It's like autism falls under that term. Or
oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. Just being alternative. If you grew up in a very, very progressive family, it depends on your personality and your upbringing. Like I grew up in a very progressive area. I was surrounded with like bohemian type people, and it was just like, and plus my parents didn't really talk about sex or anything like that, or people's bodies, so I didn't have some type of predisposition on what I should be feeling about my body and my sexuality and whatnot. So I went into sex work not really freaking out about that type of stuff, but I understand most people do. They have some sort of self-consciousness or you know, some type of nervousness about showing their body and whatnot. And I guess like it's arrogant, but like I'm very confident in my body. Like I have like a good body. so I have no reason to be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
And might as well just like celebrate it while I have it, because I'm going to be 50 years old. I'm not going to look like this anymore.
Do you think you'll still be doing OnlyFans when you're 50?
Hell no. Hell no. Oh my god. If I'm doing like, well, from an artistic standpoint, if it becomes a hobby again and I'm doing like, I don't want to do full nude, but like if I do, I don't know, something that's sort of risque, I don't mind if it's an artistic thing, but no, I don't want to hustle as a side hustle, become like or still be an OnlyFans or whatever the equivalent is in 25 years.
25 years.
But yeah, I don't want to I don't want to do this forever, you know.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of taxing because I have other hobbies and things in life that I love doing, and I'd rather be doing that instead of making OnlyFans content.
Yeah, that's definitely understandable. I feel like some people though would be like, like, I want to continue doing it when I'm like 70 or something. Aren't there like really old people with OnlyFans? I'm pretty sure they are.
Sure, yeah. I didn't watch it, but there was recently a Vice documentary that dropped a video about like a 70-year-old OnlyFans creator, and she was pretty successful.
So, what do you think about OnlyFans as a website? Like, do you think they treat you fairly?
Yeah, like I said, I'm more of a passive user and creator, so it works fine for me. I get what I want out of it, but for someone who's more active and wants to constantly reach out and gain more subs and such, I think I've heard Fansly is a better platform for that because it's more like a community type thing, whereas OnlyFans is you kind of keep to yourself, it's your own little bubble, and you do your advertising either by collabing with other creators, or you mostly advertise on Twitter or Instagram. But with Fansly, I believe, I could be very wrong, someone who actually has Fansly could correct me, but you can see recommendations on Fansly. There's like a home page, you can see what other creators are up to and stuff like that. So yeah, like OnlyFans is fine for me just because I'm not really trying to cast my net to get as many followers as possible. But for people who do that because that's their career, like sex work is their job, then I think they're better off going to Fansly or some other platform.
All right, now it's time to get into the commentary side of this interview. Have you ever heard of the I feel like I'm gonna mispronounce this, but I'll explain what it is. The Sissia bill.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's I think the word is an acronym, but the acronym means Stop Internet Sexual Exploitation Act, which is a U.S. Bill that's trying to be passed kind of like a couple of months ago. I'm pretty sure it's like dead in the water, but what it essentially does, it requires sex workers or anyone posting lewd content online to have a form of consent. Like they have to sign a contract that says like I give consent for every video. If this were to actually pass, do you think you would still do OnlyFans or just do content in general with this new what's the word? Not standard, but like new regulations?
Just to clarify, when you say if you want to perform or create content in the sexual way, you have to sign a consent form to who?
I guess to
your internet provider or something?
No, I think the government actually.
Yeah,
to the government, be like, hey, I want to, I give consent. This video that I'm in, I give consent. So.
Oh, okay. Well, God, that's a complicated thing. I'm against that. I don't like that idea. I'm not saying the government is going to blackmail you or anything, or hold that as evidence against you or whatever.
Yeah.
To make you a second-class citizen in the long run. I mean, it's possible. I think authoritarianism is on the rise, and I don't think definitely the United States is not immune to that. So I do not like this authoritarian overreach of sex work on a federal level.
Yeah.
I understand though, like it prevents, pedophiles and rapists from posting things and creating content. And I'm all for that. Like, these people need to be hunted down. But at the same time, as sad as it sounds, even if the camera's off, people are still going to be doing those awful things.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like the war on drugs. Like, yes, it's for a good cause, I'm sure, but like, it's still going to happen and behind closed doors, and there's not much the government can do about it. What happens behind closed doors?
Yeah.
So it's completely useless. Like, why even enforce it in the long run? Yeah, I think, like you said, it was struck down, right? It's not a serious thing.
It's still the progress. Like, there's a website where you can see like what's the progression. It's still like in the first stages, but it's been months since this was announced, so I'm not 100% sure they're gonna consider this to be a serious thing.
Sure. I mean, like, how would they even consider who is a sex worker and who isn't? I'm sure, like, if showing full nudity,
it's very broad. Like, it even applies to fictional characters. Like, literally, like, so if like a furry character in the nude, like, you would have to have a consent form of that. So it's very broad. Like, I would agree with you. Like, I am against this as well. Like, I'm pretty sure I made a video on this as well, and I said in the video that this is basically a soft ban on porn, because obviously they can't just straight up ban porn, because, you know, everyone would lose their goddamn minds, and we'd have another prohibition moment. So they're trying to be sneaky about it. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing it for the good cause, but in reality, I still think at the end of the day, it's a soft ban on porn. So you know, to each their own, right? But if you want to like do a soft ban, I think that's just wrong. It's not going to end well. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then, I mean, there's loopholes too. You can just like upload and view content on a VPN or something, you know.
Yeah.
Like, last time I was in China, I was 20. So yeah, about 5 or 6 years ago. Porn is illegal there, so I couldn't go on Tumblr and I couldn't go on the other sites I usually go onto, but I still could use a VPN. Yeah. I could still go on Reddit. At the time, Reddit was not blocked. I think it is now. But I could still go on Reddit. I mean, like, there's so many loopholes. It's easy to, like, circumvent that. Like, people in China are not, like, they're not dry, you know. Everybody's looking at not suitable for work content just like we are on a daily basis. So,
but I feel like
there's no way to ban it.
But I feel like in this situation, it's different, because it's one thing to ban porn, but it's another to make sex workers or just people who do, you know, content like this difficult to the point where they just don't want to do it anymore. So it kind of decreases the amount of porn being produced. So so people still can watch it, but the amount is being, you know, the amount being produced, you know, with porn, it's becoming less and less, so it's becoming, you know, more of a rare thing to see, even though everything else that's been uploaded is still there. But that's what I mean by, like, it's a soft ban on porn, because, like, people can't really freely create content like that if they're required to, you know, jump through all these hoops in order just to upload, like, a 20-second video of themselves, you know, showing themselves.
Right, and plus, like, if you're generating revenue from this type of content, how are taxes going to work? You know, like, IRS is going to be like, oh, you're getting money from what now?
I'm fairly certain the IRS is going to find some way to be like, hey there, Azztrro, you owe us a couple $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where did this money come from, huh? It's not because you're selling dream catchers on Etsy, you know?
Yeah, it's a very complicated business, but would you but you as a, you know, content creator, if it became difficult like that, like, do you think you would still do it, or just, like, you know, I was just gonna quit?
I'd probably just quit. It would be nice to just try to do more artistic things, like, even though if it's, I mean, it's not nude, but it'd be nice to do, like, artistic photography and hipster stuff with my body. But I wouldn't have, I mean, I'd be fine with letting it go as a side hustle.
Yeah. Now, for OnlyFans, like, If you remember back in, what was it, like, not November. November hasn't happened. September. There you go, September. OnlyFans made an announcement saying that they were going to ban explicit content from their platform. So, what were your first thoughts when you first got the email from OnlyFans?
I was actually surprised because that's what 80% of OnlyFans is. It's just amateur porn creators.
Yeah.
And like from Tumblr, I wasn't surprised because they were bought by Yahoo, I believe, right before their ban. So I'm like, okay, of course, it's a corporate thing, it's an image thing, but
yeah.
For OnlyFans, it was odd. Well, actually, no. OnlyFans did that because
the banks, they were pressuring them.
The banks didn't like it. Yeah, OnlyFans was okay with it. Even though like it doesn't make sense to me. On Pornhub, you can do like direct deposit from your bank, and in crypto, like you don't have to do your credit card to get that content. So why can't OnlyFans do that? You know?
Oh, I'm pretty sure Pornhub went through a phase as well where the banks pressured them to delete all their content, which they did at the end. Well, not all of it, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good content was wiped off. I'm still pissed with that. But yeah, like there's ways to like not deal with Visa and MasterCard and all and Chase. Like they don't. Like it doesn't make sense really. Like you're getting your money anyways. It doesn't matter, and people know that people are buying porn with their credit cards. People are buying, just things that you're supposed to be hush hush about. But like it's inevitable. You cannot ban it. And with OnlyFans, I knew like this was like a crisis for them. That's why they figured out a way to skirt that. That ban for now.
Yeah, they literally backpedaled within like a week or two.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, exactly. Because they knew, I think from the beginning they knew they were shooting themselves in the foot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like everyone's opinion about that was like, why are they doing this? That's like one of the worst decisions you could possibly make, in a business standpoint. Like taking away the main thing that was making them content, the thing that they're known for. It's just kind of fucking stupid.
Right, exactly. But I wouldn't be surprised if that ban came up again. They were successful. But then again, I'm sure I'll either just stop or I'll go to Fansly, try out Fansly.
Yeah.
And see how that goes. But I wouldn't mind just stopping and just spending my time doing other hobbies and stuff that I wish I had more time to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a lesson to learn from this. It's like if you want to do something like this as a business, like you want to start up a business that's like an OnlyFans, like you probably don't want to ask money from a bank that's gonna like in the end like fuck you,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's always like it's a better alternative to like go to another person. But then again, it's probably easier just to go to a bank and be like, hey, I need this certain amount of money. So like it's a little complicated, I feel like, but at the end of the day, it's just like don't mix with those kinds of people that are just, very conservative and things like that.
Right, exactly. And yeah, this is like you gotta have a marketing degree, you need to have a business, a banking, a accounting degree to really make a good judgment, because like I don't know anything on how this works or what the strategy is even. Like, but I'm glad that the ban didn't go through. They're not shooting themselves in the foot for now, and I think the credit card companies understand that, so that's why they're allowing OnlyFans to continue. But yeah, it's a shame that the internet is so authoritarian and corporatized. It's no longer the Wild West, and it's for the worst.
What do you think about the memes that came out of this? Like, let me give you an example. Like, people supposedly about to lose their jobs, and they're like, "Oh, it looks like you gotta go work at McDonald's."
Oh god, I mean, like sex work is a job, Like, you know how long it takes to shave everything, to put on makeup, and hell, go to the gym. You gotta eat right. You gotta spend all this time to take care of your body and just taking literally maybe 100 pictures in a set and only 20 of them are good enough to be shown. That takes hours and hours and hours. That takes so much time.
Yeah.
How is that? You're probably making less than minimum wage for many people, given the amount of time commitment versus your income. It is a job. Like, people just don't understand. People think, oh, I'm just going to pull down my pants, take a picture, a selfie, and then post online. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I feel like definitely a lot of people see it as that. It's just like, oh, it's just lazy content, which could be said about YouTube as well. I mean, literally me, I just turn on a camera, just press record and then, scream at the camera for like 10 minutes, and there you go. There's content.
Right, but you make a script probably. You make an outline. You know what you're going to talk about and strategize how your video is going to go before that, right?
Well, for specific videos, like for legitimate scripted videos, yeah, like I'll do that, but... For regular commentary stuff, I just literally turn on a camera and then yell.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I mean, but that still takes underlying work. That takes experience. The time you took to make older videos and you learn from that. That's a time commitment that goes into your job of being a commentator. Like, that's still work.
Yeah, it's something. It's something. I think I could definitely be doing more when it comes to like bettering my content, but I'm just not doing it because for different reasons. But when it comes to sex work, with people just like not seeing it as a job, like, do you think that comes out of just like not knowing like what is being put into it, or it's just more like people knowing it could take work but they just don't want to accept it?
I think it's mostly just people who don't understand sex work culture or what it entails. Like I said, they think pull down your pants, take a picture, that's it, and they get mad and jealous when they hear people making thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars a month by taking nudes. Like, the person who's mad is jealous. Like, they probably don't have the body, they don't have like the confidence, and they want that.
Yeah.
And that gets them mad, that gets them going. But they, at the same time, they try to make themselves feel better about themselves by saying, "Oh, that's not a real job. Like, it's just their body. They're not putting any effort. They're just naturally hot, Yeah. Even though that's not the case. Usually, there's a lot of pampering and massaging of the camera, as I would like to say, in order to make something good. And yeah, I mean, in short, the people who are complaining and memeing, they're insecure, they don't understand how sex work happens, and they just believe the memes that they've heard before. It's just like a snowball effect. Yeah, like the job application. The popular sex workers, when they'll drop some really general, relatable meme, it gets tens of thousands of likes and retweets on Twitter, and then the reply is them going, "Oh, by the way, here's my OnlyFans, 10% off."
Yes, those memes. Yeah, those. Oh, and also the ones where like, just like some popular tweet, and then them promoting like a vibrator.
Yeah, exactly. And then all the other replies are like, "Ooh, I'm a job application. Did I scare you?" And the picture is like some dude in a hoodie and his face is covered with a job application.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious, but yeah, it's people who just don't think it's a job at all, even though, like, I think sex workers work a lot harder than what I do. I work in an office. I spend way more time and care, because I have to, for sex work than looking at a computer screen sitting on my ass for 9 hours in a cube,
Yeah. Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie though, like, when in the beginning of my like just like discovering everything, yeah, I was in the same opinions, like, nah, sex work isn't a legitimate work. But now that I'm just here, that I have more experience with life, it's more like this: if you earn money, it's a job. All right, like
Yeah.
it's like like you gotta understand, like in my upbringing, like when I was raised like, with a lot of conservative people, like I went to a Christian school and stuff like that. Horrible business.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a matter for me. It's just like learn from other perspectives, because I had this really great teacher. It was like, if you can't learn the other people's perspectives, like you can't really have a good conversation with them, because you're just one-sided, right? Like you can only see one thing instead of the both things. So for me now, it's just like if you can earn money, it's a job. As basic as
exactly.
that. Basic as that.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. If you're my definition is, you are investing time to learn a skill, or just investing time to get something done and be productive, that's a job.
Yeah.
And you get paid for it, that's a job. Yeah.
More on the internet, just like not liking this kind of content. Let's talk about the hot tub streams on Twitch. Like how familiar are you with Twitch? Like do you like fuck with them, or like do you just don't mess with them at all?
I'm familiar with the hot tub streamers, but I don't go on Twitch really. I've Twitch streamed in the past, but I'm not a Twitcher, or whatever the
Twitcher.
The term is. I don't know what the term is for a Twitch enthusiast.
I think it's just Twitch streamer.
Twitch streamer, okay.
Yeah.
Twitch consumer. But I really don't know much about it, other than there was a controversy where people thought that legit, quote unquote legit, content creators would get fewer views and stuff because the hot tub streamers would just steal them all. And I mean, like, sure, I get that. But I do kind of think that's unfair. Like if that is the case, there goes my alarm. If gamers and other like artists or whoever is streaming, I'm assuming it's 99% gamers though, if they're losing audience because some double D cup girl in a bikini is swimming around in a kiddie pool in her bedroom, then I think that is a little unfair, and Twitch needs to do something to categorize that type of content in a more restrictive way.
Yeah. The funny thing about that is, I think if I'm getting this correctly, it first started off as people, or like women getting in getting bikinis in a hot tub and doing streams like that, and people were getting mad. They're like, hey, Twitch, why are you letting them do this? And Twitch, depends on who you ask, in a unsurprising way, they made an entire category dedicated to hot tub streams, which made a lot of people enraged, because Twitch, when it comes to their rules, right, they're very fickle. Okay, it really feels like it's the point where they only really care about booby streamers, so they get somewhat of a special privilege, like they get like a side pat. But when it comes to other streamers, they if you do anything slightly incorrectly, you will get severely punished. Like, for example, there's this girl who accidentally farted on a stream, and she got a 7-day ban. And then you have the other side where there's people who are barely wearing anything on stream, and Twitch is like, yeah, that's fine, that's okay, absolutely. But like I feel like that's an issue, and
Gotcha.
yeah. I think it's an issue because it's just Twitch being very fickle with their rules and standards.
Right. Okay. I definitely see that now. It's just pick and choose. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Plus, it's also like the issue of like the platform. Like you can do like that content whenever you want, but like when it comes to the platform in itself, it's like, it kind of presents an issue, where it's just like there's a lot of minors congregating on Twitch, right? And then you're doing content like that, it's kind of like a little sussy.
Right, and you're gonna 11-year-old kid who wants to watch Minecraft but discovers boobies on a hot tub stream. Yeah, they're gonna lie about their age. They're gonna say birthday January 1st, 1920.
They're like, yeah, no. Yeah, that's definitely a thing where it's just like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do that, but Twitch is a weird little platform. They just love to fuck people over. Like, if I remember his name correctly, Dr. Disrespect. Do you know him?
I recognize the name.
The guy with a mullet. He has a weird mustache. Well, not a mustache. He has a very thick mustache. But he got booted off Twitch. And Twitch, being the assholes that they are, they're like, they're trying to paint it as if Doc was like doing something really heinous, and that's the reason why they kicked him out. So it's like, what did he do? And for a while, no one knew what happened to him, and like, why did he get banned? But then later on, I think maybe like it was like 2 months ago, it was finally announced, like after a year or two, it was finally announced why he got banned, and it was because of a deal gone bad. Like, he wanted to work with Mixture, but you know, Mixture is no more. So Twitch got a hold of that. I was like, wait a minute, like, you can't do that. No, we're gonna fucking ban you. Fuck you. So right now, actually, Dr. Disrespect is actually planning on suing them, which is gonna be very interesting to see. And I really, really hope that Doc wins in this particular situation.
Was he being sponsored and paid by Twitch? Was he like a sponsor or like
No, I don't think he was a sponsor for Twitch. If anything, he's just a Twitch partner. You know how like you have to become a Twitch partner in order to get money and stuff. Or no, actually, no. They actually made a deal with Doc, but since his contract was coming to an end, he wanted more money so he could hold leverage against Twitch. It's like, hey, you know, Mixture wants to pay me more, so how about you pay me more? So I mean, what he was doing wasn't completely innocent, but to the point where you fucking ban him and then try to smear his name, it's like kind of ridiculous.
I don't see anything wrong with that. That's like in my field of work, people all the time, they leave their company because they won't get the raise that they want. They come to my company, and then their old company's like, oh, please, okay, we'll give you the money, and then they go back. Like, there's nothing wrong with like leaving to where the cash is. Like, it works with every other industry. Why is this the exception? I think, yeah, you're right. Dr. Disrespect has the high ground here. I don't know why Twitch thinks they own his life and his contract, even though it's ended.
I think it's because they know they're their only platform that really is good for streaming. You have YouTube, but it's not Twitch. Right, and there's not really other platforms. I mean, you have like DLive or whatever, but who the fuck uses that, right? So they know they have the a monopoly on the business, so they could definitely make power plays like that, which is extremely unfortunate. Which is why we need to like make more platforms to compete against these, like YouTube or Twitch. But I don't know, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like anyone's really coming up with any good ideas, or maybe they are, but it's not lasting because not a lot of people are wanting to move on.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a reason why there isn't a huge YouTube competitor. It's one, because the servers and infrastructure that goes into supporting it is just astronomically expensive. And I'm going to say it's the same with Twitch. Like, yeah, you could make it a competitor, but it's probably not going to last because you don't have the infrastructure.
True.
And you don't have the monopoly. So I don't think you can have another Twitch, really. At least not as big as Twitch. There's not much you can do. But then again, like, I know nothing about the streaming world. I feel like I'm a little too old for that. Like, I don't really have much of an opinion outside of that. It's just extremely expensive to make something like Twitch, and if Twitch wants to be a bully to its creators and abuse its own rules and pick favorites, then there's not much you can do. You can't boycott them. You can't stop them. I guess you could sue them, like Doctor is, but it's not always going to go well because Twitch has all this money and leverage over some little tiny creator. You know?
Right. Which is like extremely unfortunate. But it's like you think like Doc, you know, he's not like some tiny creator. Like this man is like, I don't know how many followers he had before. I think, but he had a huge audience. Like this man had like his influence stretches beyond the borders of Twitch, like YouTube and Twitter and shit like that. Like everyone who pays attention to like the gaming sphere knows the name Dr. Disrespect. So for that to happen, it's kind of scary. You know, like you said, like there's really nothing much we can do, and it feels like nowadays for everything, there's really nothing much we can do. Like we can try to, you know, boycott or do something, but it really has little effect, and it kind of like poses the questions like, what can we do? You know, like what possibly can we do to make things better? You know?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say other than that. I just don't have an opinion.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, it's a very very unfortunate situation. Now let's move on to the do you know the creator iDubbbz?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, let's talk about the iDubbbz situation. I think it was like last year, but he got a lot of flack because his girlfriend announced that she was making an OnlyFans. And a lot of people got really upset with that. And it got to the point where iDubbbz made a video that didn't have that iDubbbz vibe. Like, when it comes to iDubbbz, right, like he has a way of presenting an argument, and it works. Like, he presents it well, and he's able to argue it. But in this case, it was kind of weak. There's some weak points in there. But what did you think of the internet's reaction towards iDubbbz dating someone with OnlyFans?
I don't recall. I watched the explanation video where he addresses the controversy. I don't remember his. You said there were some issues with
the points. Right.
Yeah, I don't remember those, but I think overall it was just like really stupid. It goes back to people not understanding what sex work is.
Right.
And I don't even think his girlfriend was nude in those. Was she? Like, I don't think she was completely nude.
No, I think it was just like tasteful pictures.
Right. Exactly. So I like calling him a cuck and saying that Ian can't please her. That's why she has to do this. Like, it's all BS from people who. It's the same people who post the "Boo! I'm a job application." Like, scary, that type of meme, you know.
Yeah.
And like clearly that upset iDubbbz, and he had to make that video addressing it. But I don't know why people were upset. I don't think people were upset. Rather, they were making fun of him. But I don't know. I could be remembering that incorrectly.
It started off as like people just mocking him. You had some people, actually mad at him. But I don't know. It struck a nerve with him. Like at first he was just memeing it. He was just memeing. It's like I remember that one tweet. He was like, "No more Mr. Nice Simp." And everyone loved that. Everyone ate that up, and we thought that was gonna be the end.
Yes. Yeah, everybody called him a simp. Yeah, sure.
But when he made that video, I think that's when people got mad. I think that's when people really got mad at him.
And that's what I don't understand. Like, why would people get mad at that? What is there to get mad at?
Well, it depends. Again, it depends on the person. You know, they have different viewpoints and relationships and shit like that. And then, of course, you have people who overstep the. I guess, maybe it's not the parasocial relationship, but it's just like they overstep what they are able to do, which is really nothing. But they're like, hey, you shouldn't be dating that person, you know? Right. Yeah. So that of course made him mad. But I think his biggest mistake was making the video. He could have just let it go, right? Because when you make a video like that, it's going to cause a lot of attention. And I feel like it was getting to the point where it was going to get forgotten, right? Like that the situation's going to get, blown over. But since he made that video for whatever reason, he kind of fucked up there. Even though if you look at the like and dislike ratio, He has more likes than dislikes on that video, but the dislikes though is abundant. I think the last time I checked was like over 200,000. I believe one of the points that he made that a lot of people were like, it's kind of weak, was again the job situation where, he made the point that, like, you think that someone's going to lose their job over having an OnlyFans? Because that was an argument that people were making as well. In some situations, no, like you said, like you have a, office job and you're not going to lose your job over this. But someone who, wants to be, I don't know, like a teacher, like a very high profile job, I would imagine, and they have like standards, certain like conservative standards, then they would probably be like, hey, you can't work for us because you're I guess a liability, and that kind of sucks, right? Like, it sucks to be called a liability, but there's some jobs where like we can't let you be this, we can't let you have this position because you post content like this, which is it's a legitimate thing. Like in the what's the word, like real world? Yeah, the real world.
The real world.
Yeah.
Capital R trademark.
But yeah, that's definitely one of the. I haven't actually rewatched it in a long time. It's been like a fucking year. But that was like the one thing that's stuck out with me. But there are some things that he just said that it's just like it wasn't the iDubbbz that we knew, which was kind of unfortunate. But it'd be like that sometimes.
Right. Yeah, and now that I heard your explanation, by the way, I feel like this stream is turning into you teaching me things about the internet and internet drama that all your viewers already know. So I'm getting like a lesson, and I don't know. I feel like your viewers are like, oh my god, this is so
Well, it's kind of like that, but also it also serves as a way for them to hear another opinion that goes against what they know, because like my audience is pretty conservative. I wouldn't say like right wingers, right, but they're like I would feel like they would be inclined to say like, sex work isn't work, but I'm hoping with this kind of dialogue that kind of opens more doors and opportunities for other people to really understand where another person's coming from, empathy, or
Sure.
Or is it empathy or sympathy? Be empathetic or something.
I think it's empathy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because like I feel like nowadays on the internet, like empathy is a very rare commodity to come by. It's like
It always was.
yeah, it's like I don't know, like you do one thing wrong, something minor, and it just feels like the internet just like gets on your ass. As if you are Satan himself. It's like, hey, you did a small bad thing 8 years ago. We're gonna fuck you up. We're gonna like make you lose your job and everything. And I agree with you. Like you said in the interview that the internet used to be a wild place. The Wild West. But nowadays it's getting more. It's
too controlled now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's becoming more quote unquote civilized. Right, like you have to like be a specific form. Like you have to fit a specific form, or else like you're viewed as a villain, right? Which I don't. I feel like it's a balance, because like in 2016, do you remember 2016? Man, I fucking love 2016. You could literally say whatever the fuck you want, and no one would give a shit. But that was the problem, right? Like there are too many people saying too much like stupid shit, right? Like it was getting a little too ridiculous. I enjoyed the ridiculousness of it, but it got a little too much. And so obviously with that amount of toxicity or whatever you want to call it, the world, or the internet, I guess the internet, wanted to balance itself out, but in doing so it only created more problems, and so it just replaces the issue, like with one form of toxicity with another form of toxicity. So it's I don't know. It's a very sad thing to see. A lot of people just like seemingly want to kill each other, but I guess it's the natural form of things. But I wish it wasn't.
Yeah, and I can, and again, like I'm showing my age, but I don't really see the toxicity or like the infighting. You say like 2016, yeah, you had Filthy Frank, you had humor that was just like slinging the F slur and the N word, just like it was nothing, and people thought that was funny, and it's not. It's clearly not funny. That's not humor. But like, and after that became unacceptable, would you say there was the people who still thought that that was funny, and versus the people who so-called snowflakes or whatever, SJWs, like there, I can see like, yeah, those two groups would be in conflict, but I don't see that obviously because I'm not a super online person anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I can definitely see that. I don't see it. I just on my mind, I grew up in the time when the internet was just like you can do whatever the hell you want. And if somebody tries to hurt you, fuck them. Why are you mad? Like that reminds me of this really old Tyler the Creator quote or tweet actually that says, "How is internet bullying even real? Just like
log off
your eyes, yeah, close the laptop, walk away." Like that's how I live. Like, why would you get mad at if anybody does get mad at you on the internet? Just like close your eyes, you know, like scroll up. You know?
Yeah, like,
I don't even
like literally. Yeah, that's the literal like Twitter user, like the average Twitter user. Just like close your eyes, you know, log off Twitter, go outside, touch some grass, you'll be fine. You know, you don't have to like have a meltdown.
Right, and like I don't really say anything like controversial or anything.
I always do.
Mean. Oh yeah, and you probably get some shit, don't you?
Not at the moment because, let's put it this way. I could be the biggest building in the entire fucking world and no one would know my goddamn name.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, okay. I'm extremely irrelevant. So, if, for some reason, if I were to become popular, I would probably get some shit, but I would be like, you know what? I don't fucking care, you know? Like, to give you an example, like, Christ. Yeah, like when you said fuck, the N-word isn't funny, I'm just like, fuck, because for me it's funny. I think it's pretty fucking hysterical to see some fucking guy just say the N-word randomly once in a game, and it's like, there you go. I was like, oh, that's kind of fucking quirky. But yeah, like funny enough, I made a video at one point. I think it was like last year, maybe 2 years ago. No, it was probably last year, where I just like went on Discord and asked 6 or 7 people to say the N-word, just like straight up hard R, and they were like, okay, there you go. And I got like a little tiny bit of flack from one person, and he made the claim that you know, did you pay people to say the N-word? Like my man's, it's Discord. It's like, what do you expect? I could literally, no, like, of course I didn't pay anyone. It's like, they'll literally just say it for you, and it's like, there you go. So I don't know, like, I think humor at the end of the day is very subjective, right? But you can definitely say it's not funny, you know. Like, the way I see the N-word is this: like, you can see it 2 ways. You can see it as an abomination that should never be uttered ever, or you can see it as a funny, quirky thing, because, like, you know, it's how do I put this? Well, yeah, it's just for me, it's just funny, but I do understand the meaning behind it and the history behind it. I'm not completely ignorant to some extent, but, you know, do I think someone needs to be hunted down for saying the N-word in a non-racist way? You know, they didn't just call someone an N-word, they just said the N-word randomly. No, I don't think so. I think that's a little too ridiculous. And it seems like the internet wants to do that. You know, they want to, like, hunt people down like that to, for whatever reasons, to serve their purpose or whatever. Like, what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a little older than you.
Yeah.
I grew up in a time before, like, my humor was developed before a lot of this internet culture, before internet culture dominated everything.
Yeah.
And I guess when you were younger, you would have been in high school when Filthy Frank and iDubbbz and all that were on his peak.
Yes.
Yeah, so like in high school and middle school, that's usually when your humor is developed. So I understand how, like, for you in your context, just saying the F slur or shouting the N word is funny because they made it funny, and that's how your humor was first. Like you were impressionable. Like you thought that was the pinnacle of humor, and that stuck around to some extent. But for me, I was already in college. I was well into college when that was happening, and I already had I was mature enough to be like, okay, like I can sort of laugh at this, but this is like not super funny, and it will not age well. So I think I don't know what to say. Like I think it's like, yeah, like you say, if you just shout the N word, like PewDiePie, I don't think he should have been flamed as much as he should have, but like you have that word floating around in your head, like what else is in your head, you know? Like especially if you're so high profile and you're supposed to be such a good person. I don't know. Like it's conflicting. I'm conflicted by something like that because that's really disrespectful, but at the same time, but like you said, it's a word that, I mean, yeah, I feel like this is something that you can't win. You cannot win with this argument if you try to support it. And I don't support the usage of the N-word, right? Whether you think it's funny or not. It's not comedy. It's too disrespectful. Like you wouldn't, like slap somebody on the back of the neck as a social experiment or prank or be funny, right? Don't say the N-word. I see it the same as that.
Well, I feel like in that case, that's assault versus, being offensive.
Sure, right. But like, I at the end of the day, I just want to be. I don't want to. It's not about being offensive or offending anybody. Don't worry about that. It's about being respectful and not having that type of toxicity running around in your head, because you could be like PewDiePie one day and that just slips out because that it's subconsciously in your head. Just don't fill your head with that type of nonsense in the first place. But that's just me. I'm from a different. I'm a different generation, dude. So I'm not gonna tell you what is funny or not, but that's just how I see it.
Of course. And honestly, that's some good advice. The last thing that I want to be seen is a racist, right? So, to empty out those words, to like filter out those words, so one day I don't accidentally just like have a PewDiePie moment, which it's extremely unfortunate. When it comes to him though, it's the effects that was caused because of that is extremely unfortunate, right? Because like the whole YouTube adpocalypse happened because number one, it was what was the first situation? Oh yeah, his little joke where he got like a
like a Nazi uniform. Right?
A what?
He wore a Nazi uniform.
No, that wasn't the thing that caused it. It was literally him getting people from Fiverr, I think it was Fiverr, to hold up a sign that said "Kill the Jews" or "Exterminate all the Jews" or whatever. And and people were like, "That's funny." Like no one really thought that was like horrendous. Sure. But then people from I guess like the New York Times or whatever, like journalists. They picked up on the story and they're like, how come, like, why are you allowing this content? Like, they question YouTube. And, for it's something good came out of this, too, because to some extent, I feel like the bad outweighs the good. But there was actual content, like, KKK members, they're making videos and shit like that, and they're being monetized. And so they pointed that out. And so YouTube just went, they lost a lot of supporters, or sponsors, which ended up costing them over $1 billion or $500 million, which they went on full meltdown. Everyone was suffering because of it. Again with the adpocalypse thing, everyone was affected by it. They were barely making any money. I can't say where because I wasn't part of that. I was making YouTube videos, but I wasn't a part of it. But for individuals, I think you have to be careful. Like you have to be careful what you say. Absolutely, I agree with that. It depends on the person, because like with someone with that big of a platform and he's not really known, well, I guess now he's not really known beforehand to do that kind of stuff. It's gonna pose a lot of questions,
Yeah.
So yeah, this is gonna pose a lot of questions, but I would still be on the mindset. Like you can definitely say it, especially if you're a person of color. Because like, what am I gonna do? Like, tell a black community not to say the N word? It's kind of like a dichotomy there. So
Right.
it's just it depends on the end of the day. Like I'm not gonna like flame you like, oh, you don't find the N word funny? Like, oh, cringe? No, obviously not. Like I completely understand why people don't see it as a funny thing. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, I find it to be a pretty humorous word. But again, I know the meaning behind it and shit like that. So that's why I'm not gonna call someone the N word, because that's just fucking stupid of me to do.
Right, exactly. I will say though, one instance where I did find a situation where somebody shouts that word is like the guy with the Burger King crown in like a Jamaican airliner.
Oh my god, yes.
He's fighting the flight attendants. I laughed so hard. Oh my god, this guy is real life.
That entire video just it's so fucking weird. It's like, number one, why is he wearing like a Burger King hat or crown? It's so fucking weird. It's a trip. It's definitely a trip. See, in that situation,
and he has a face tattoo. Oh my god,
dude. Like in that situation, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, laugh at that, because of course he's being fucking stupid, but laugh at his stupidity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's being extremely embarrassing.
Yeah.
And just like a complete nut job. Why would you like? It's so hilarious watching complete nut jobs like freak out like that. Given that they're not like, like hitting or punching or shooting somebody.
True.
Just freaking out.
They're having like a Karen moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why Karen attacks are so popular right now.
Yeah, especially with the whole like COVID shit, where it's just like, I don't want to wear my mask. It's against the law, boo, and shit like that.
Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
exactly. Like, bitch, just put on the mask.
Yeah, like, the reason why we have Delta is because of you. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate. And they're like, no, I don't care. It's against the Constitution. It's like, you don't even know what the first Constitution is. Like, bitch, be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I have no hope for this country, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems like every year it just devolves and devolves and devolves to the point where it's just like, yeah, there's no fucking hope. There ain't no hope.
Yeah. That's also George Carlin bit. He says, politicians they don't come out of the sky. They don't come from some different dimension through a portal. No, they're voted by the public. Here's a new slogan for you. Vote for me. The slogan is "Fuck hope, fuck the public," and then he ends the bit.
Wait, okay. So you saying that makes me remember that like, is he old? Is the comedian old?
Yeah,
is he old? Okay,
died.
Yeah,
he died.
I know who he is. Yeah, I actually saw that bit as well. I thought that was actually really funny.
Yeah.
That shit.
Yeah,
like,
I miss that guy.
Yeah, I've seen like maybe 2 or 3 clips of him, and I can tell you right now, like, that guy's pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the goats, that's for sure.
Definitely. But yeah, that's all the questions that I have for you. Thank you so much, Azztrro. I really do appreciate you coming along and answering these questions.
Oh yeah, no problem. You taught me a lot. I feel like you taught me more than I have spoken my opinion on things because I don't like I said, I feel like you'd be better off interviewing somebody else that's more in tune with internet culture and OnlyFans and stuff like that. But I mean I'm happy that you were able to find me interesting enough to reach out and listen hear me out. But
yeah, no, I definitely I think I learned something as well from this. Like I said, it's still good. It's really good to hear other people's viewpoints and stuff like that. So this was good. This was actually really good. I really do appreciate it. Is there any platforms you want to promote at all?
I mean, like, you can. I'm not gonna promote them verbally, but you can find me. You can find me.
I mean, would you care if I linked them in the description, or is that like too weird for you?
don't do that.
Okay, okay.
That'd be a little too weird. But like, if people are curious enough, then they will find.
They'll find you. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, but with that being said,
So,
yeah. I'm sorry.
100 people that will listen to this, you can find me.
100 people? Nah, more like
Yeah.
more like 40.
Yeah.
More like 40. I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
I get lucky. Okay, like I will upload a video and be like, okay, 20 views, and the next video, 1,000 views. Like, where the fuck did that come from? So it's very random. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets like 100 views. But not gonna complain. Still pretty good. Still pretty good.
Well, nobody knows who I am, so like, and I'm not a super prominent sex worker, so like, yeah, 100 would be pretty generous.
Exactly. But you know, it'd be like that sometimes. It's the game of YouTube. If you want to play the game, you play the game. If you don't play the game. So obviously I do. So I play the game.
Yeah, that's the life of a creative right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, that's all I have to say. And again, thanks, Azztrro, for joining me. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification to be notified of my next video. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next video or interview. Goodbye for now.
Bye.